Major cities across the U.S. have been battling an expensive problem for the last several years.
New York City thieves start looting laundromat. New York City is supposed to be where dreams come true, but every passing day it's getting closer to becoming a total nightmare.
Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg announced recovering $1 million in stolen goods headed for resale.
Thieves have started looting laundromats, and with that, it's official. No one's safe. Watch the video till the end to find out the truth about the city that no one wants to talk about. Let's get started. A series of burglaries has struck laundromats across New York City, with a group of thieves suspected of being responsible for up to 40 incidents. There are almost 4,000 laundromats throughout the city, so there's a lot where that came from. The latest burglary happened at Susan's Laundromat on Grand Avenue in Elmhurst, Queens, where the perpetrators made off with $1,800 in cash and an ATM machine. ATM theft is already very common in the city, but add to that the money they can now take from laundromats, and the problem gets a lot bigger. This laundromat is one of many targeted between March and June this year, with 28 incidents reported in Queens, 9 in the Bronx, and 3 in Brooklyn. The police believe that a group of 3 or 4 masked men were behind all of these crimes, which have all happened during the overnight or early morning hours when the laundromats are closed. Not just that, but there are a lot of automatic laundromats where the owner doesn't even need to be present until it's time to empty out the money compartments. That also means that oftentimes, these compartments are full and are there for the taking, with no one there to stop them. But these criminals couldn't stay hidden for long. At a Brooklyn laundromat, 5 people were arrested for the murder of Money Perkins, 37, during a botched robbery. The robbery aimed to steal a gold necklace worth over $30,000 from Perkins, who owned the East Flatbush laundromat. The suspects, including Perkins's cousin Ronnie Butler, 46, and Louis Mercado, 48, planned the robbery. Butler was in a long-standing feud with Perkins and was the one who allegedly orchestrated the crime. He brought Mercado and his 16-year-old stepson, along with Shalik Riddick, 19, and Deontay Stinson, 20, who are members of a gang known as Shoot on Sight, and they stayed true to their name. Surveillance footage captured the brutal incident at the laundromat, Money P. Clean, on Clarendon Road. The video shows the group dressed in puffer jackets entering the laundromat and drawing guns on Perkins, who was cleaning a washing machine. Perkins attempted to defend himself, struggling with Butler, who is seen on camera. But the situation escalated when one of the gunmen shot Perkins in the leg, followed by another shot to his head, allegedly fired by one of the other attackers. After the shooting, Butler reportedly smashed Perkins' head into the floor and removed the gold necklace from his neck before fleeing in their car. The brutal killing was witnessed by someone hiding in the back of the laundromat, fearing for their life. Right after the incident, Mercado sold the stolen necklace, thinking that if he didn't have the necklace on him, he'd be safe from the police. But he was making one mistake after another. Investigators were able to track them down using surveillance footage, which showed the group at a deli in Far Rockaway before the crime and identified the getaway car registered to Butler's girlfriend. That wasn't the only thing tying them to the crime. Evidence including an Instagram post by the 16-year-old showing him with a gun in the car. Authorities also recovered a gun from Mercado's closet. The 4 adults involved were charged with multiple crimes, including murder, robbery, conspiracy, and criminal possession of a weapon. Mercado faced an additional charge of endangering a child, even if he'd been in that type of situation before. It wasn't right for a parental figure to do that, and now he's going to have to suffer the consequences. But if this type of action was taken earlier, when any of the other 40 robberies went down, maybe Perkins would still be alive. This isn't even a new problem. Small businesses have been consistently hit by robberies throughout the past few years. In recent months, it's just picked up a lot more. Right at the end of July, 2 businesses, a cannabis store, and a neighboring permanent makeup studio were both hit by another group of young men. They entered through the roof, ransacked the makeup studio, and broke into the cannabis store, stealing over $500 worth of product. Even though there is footage of the men, the police haven't been able to identify them, and chances are they've gotten away with the crime for good. Over in the Bronx, police and federal agents are searching for a suspect linked to an attempted robbery that escalated into a deadly shootout. The incident began earlier in the day at a smoke shop in Mount Vernon, where a gunfight broke out between the store's staff and a group of at least 10 would-be robbers, and 2 people lost their lives.
Good evening, I'm Chuck Scarborough. Natalie Pasquarella has the night off tonight. Several people are facing federal charges in that shootout in Mount Vernon. Just some of the 10 police say are involved in it. Police say they showed up to rob a smoke shop in Mount Vernon. It turned into a shootout. That left 2 people dead.
Authorities detained several suspects at the scene but are still looking for one person for questioning in connection to the double homicide. The officers spotted a vehicle linked with the crime later that day, but the vehicle fled, leading to a pursuit that ended at East Fordham Road and Hughes Avenue. While one suspect from the car was caught, another suspect, known as Marcos, managed to escape on foot. The FBI, along with the NYPD Emergency Service Unit and K-9 teams, have been actively canvassing the area near Fordham University's campus, armed with high-powered firearms. Despite all of that, the suspect remains at large, which just seems to be a pattern here. But it's not just businesses. Small business owners are also at risk. A couple in Hicksville, Long Island, were attempting to deposit $140,000 from their local business at a Bank of America when they were cornered right outside the bank by 5 suspects, 4 men and 1 woman.
5 guys, I think. 4 guys and 1 woman.
They robbed them. Eyewitnesses at a nearby laundromat reported that the suspects were dressed in black. During the robbery, PSEG workers tried to intervene, even managing to restrain one of the suspects briefly, but the suspects managed to escape in a dark-colored sedan with out-of-state license plates. The victims didn't know if they were followed to the bank from their home in Flushing. All they know is that the suspects pulled out a gun and forced the couple to give them the money for their safety. So they did.
Somebody robbed me, robbed my boyfriend. It's $140,000.
But that was what they'd earned that week, and they need constant cash flow to keep their business afloat and their family taken care of, and this puts a major dent in that whole thing. The robbers were able to get away. A high-end fashion store in Soho, Manhattan, was robbed of nearly $225,000 worth of luxury items by 2 men on February 12, 2024. The suspects broke into the Rebag store through a basement entrance, smashing display cases to steal handbags and watches. Surveillance footage showed the thieves with uncovered faces, pushing a cart likely containing the stolen items. With so much police force in the area, none of them were able to catch the assailants in time. But not all of them get to run. Some do get caught too. Clint A. Loomis of Kirkwood is facing felony robbery charges following a series of gas station robberies in Broome County. He reportedly grabbed a cash register in front of the cashier and fled in a gray Ford F-150 before hitting another 2 gas stations. After a long manhunt, he was finally caught. He is currently in custody at the Broome County Correctional Facility and will pay for his crimes. But will they all? In 2023, New York City saw a significant rise in serious crimes, reaching levels not seen in 2 decades, according to NYPD data. This surge occurred despite Mayor Eric Adams's claims that overall crime was decreasing. The data showed an increase in major felonies, including a historic high in felony assaults, which reached nearly 28,000 cases. This marked the 2nd consecutive year of rising crime under Adams's administration. While there were decreases in murders and gun violence, the overall crime rate continued to climb, challenging the mayor's statements about improving safety in the city. But can the root problem ever be solved? Will businesses in New York ever really be safe again? Let us know what you think in the comments below. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos just like this. We'll see you in the next one.